Warp and Toxic are examples of enemy exclusive abilities, but what exactly are they and how many of these abilities are there? In this video is all about abilities that enemies have access in Battle Cats. Starting in version 5.6 update added zombie outbreaks that also released the zombie trait, which concluded two new abilities for the zombie trait. The two abilities for the zombie trait are Burrow and Revive, which are not the official names for these abilities. Burrow is the ability when zombies will tunnel underground whenever a cat enters their range. Before tunneling underground, zombies will perform a brief animation, which leaves them vulnerable from damage. If a zombie is knocked back during this animation, the Burrow ability will be cancelled. Tunneling zombies are invulnerable until they reach the above surface, which happens after reaching the cat base or a certain distance depending on the enemy. Most zombies can usually burrow once, others don't, with a few exceptions. The Thrillers can burrow twice, while units like Miss Hacker and Big Sal can burrow however they like, thus infinitely, which ends up making them base targeting enemies. The Holy Blast is the only way to deal damage against tunneling zombies, as it can not only deal damage but also force them to resurface immediately. As for Revive, only certain zombies that have is an ability that allows them to come back to life after a duration of time. Upon death by a non-zombie killer, enemies will leave behind a purple puddle with a bone and skull to mark where they will return. And these puddles are harmless by default and cannot be hit or targeted unless units with the Soul Strike ability. Enemies with Revive have varying revival time, a limit to how many revives and percentage of health when they do revive. Examples like Death Angel Z-Onel with the shortest revival time of 0.5 seconds with unlimited revives and 100% health on respawn, and Formicadian Arian having the longest revival time of 24 seconds, revives once with 100% health on respawn. Most enemies respawn with either a 50% or 100% of their maximum health, with a few exceptions. Inumsha with 25% on respawn, Big Peng Z with 10% on respawn, and Table of the Dead with 10% also. Next abilities, along with Cats of the Cosmos in version 6.5, added Warp and Barriers. Cats hit by an enemy with Warp will be sent either frontwards or backwards by a specific range for a period amount of time, depending on the enemy warp chance. Provided if they aren't knocked back, the cat will be teleported responding to the properties of the warp, which varies between enemies. Evolute 1-1 has both the highest warp distance and longest abduction time of 66 seconds. Sometimes the warp properties can cause self-sabotage to their user. Final Boss Giga God has a 3-attack multi-hit, with a 100% chance to warp cats for 3 seconds long on the first hit. This dude warps your cat so long enough just for his second and third attack to completely miss. So you're kinda shooting on your own leg here. There are many unique warp properties across different units and traits, so here's an overview of some units. Next up, Barriers are a passive defensive ability exclusive to certain starred aliens. Enemies with barriers are protected by a red rhombus-shaped crystal, which nullifies any attack that are weaker than its breaking point. Enemies with barriers can only be broken by either an attack stronger than its breaking point or from an attack with barrier breaker ability, such as Kitty of Liberty, which can deal additional damage after breaking barriers. Barriers have various breaking values across different enemies, and unlike Aqua Shields, barriers do not regenerate. Yuken and Ultra Baba both have the highest breaking point value of 266,000 total. In version 9.1 added the Loning Toxic ability. Enemies with this ability have a set chance to do a toxic attack, an attack that does bonus damage based on a cat's unit's maximum health. Toxic attacks are indicated by attack, producing a purple splatter and unique sound. The toxic ability can bypass the mental ability, rendering said ability useless against it. Toxic can also be disabled by the curse effect. As for now, Zollow has the highest toxic damage output, with taking away 80% of a cat's maximum health. And for the latest addition in version 10.8 are Death Surge and Aqua Shields, associated with the Aqua trait. Similar to Barriers, Aqua Shields are a passive defensive ability exclusive to certain Aqua enemies. Enemies with shields are protected by a bluish eye-shaped rune which functions as additional health that absorbs incoming damage in place of the enemy, and breaks once its health is depleted or shattered from an attack with shield piercer. such as Arco Researcher, which can deal additional damage after breaking the shield. And depending on the enemy, shields can regenerate after being knocked back that was caused by a threshold amount of damage called Hitbacks. Arco shields regenerate either 50 or 100% of their original health, and the amount of shield regeneration depends on how many hitbacks the enemy has. Midnight D has a total of 20 hitbacks. It can potentially regenerate its shield up to 19 max before dying. Just like barriers, shields also have varying health between different units. These two both have the highest shield health of 1,800,000 health, which they both regenerate at 100% health when their shields break. And lastly, enemies with Death Surge have a set chance to unleash a surge attack upon death. The surge attack is like any surge attack, as in the ability itself, it has a specific level and spawning radius, depending on the enemy. This is represented by a unique Arco soul instead of the regular white soul emerging, followed by a unique sound and a blue surge. Anyways, thanks for watching this whole video. Subscribe to support, hit the like button, whatever does best for you. With all said and done, thanks for tuning in. Bye.